It could be an employee. It can be a VA. It could be any sort where money is leaving my bank account externally. It can be that, manufacturer. It could be $100,000 payment to my supplier. That money, you're going to be, as a business owner, you want to make sure you're double checking and saying, hey, I don't want to mess up any numbers, especially at transactions at that scale. So when we say 7 minutes, it's per transaction of money coming or leaving your account. So this can be anywhere from, again, accountants, paying your VAs, paying employees internationally. So great question, Andrew. Does that answer
Yeah,
that question?
no, that's perfect. And it's something just for some color here. This is a new challenge for me as a growing agency where, we're both based mainly in the US for the longest time and had, I think, like one payment overseas system, our outsourced employees. But as we have increased and scaled and gotten and started using more outsourced labor, and it's really created a different issue I never had before, which was, bank fees and really having to think about how I'm moving money and paying internationally. Wasn't a problem. I'm in year 7 of my business. Wasn't a problem for years. It's now become one. And I wouldn't even say a problem, just something new for me to solve as a solution. So this is super helpful. And I think whether maybe you're not dealing with that right now, you might be very soon, whether you're expanding internationally. I know one of my brand owners that's on the webinar or call or listening in is we're expanding internationally right now. So it's a very
There you go.
relevant topic, Ryan. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, no problem. And I just wanted to kind of like break it down to, you can see, I don't have to read it for people. And this is something that it's just simple math. I jokingly say it's 7th grade math that you can use to apply to your business, but it's at scale, right? Of, hey, if I wire fees, if I'm doing 200 transactions in a given time, again, that can be that's just a number you can plug in if you're doing 50, or if you're doing 300 transactions at scale. $35 per wire fee doesn't seem like a lot per time, but if you're doing that over a course of a year, you can actually look at that example. Hey, that's $84,000 of just savings. That's a full-time employee. That's a highly paid employee that you can be hiring just in saving fees instead of paying wire fees. So fees, things like that is cost of doing. But you do exit, and I'll just share that savings, for example, for Andrew's business that's growing internationally, and they do $1 million in Canada for next year. They save 1%. That's over the course of 12 months instead of fees. They're going to be getting $120,000 a year, and as we all know, you're not exiting your brand at 3-time multiple. You're talking about 4 to 8. But even if it was that worst case scenario, they exited at 3-time multiple, you just put $360,000 here back to your bottom line. So again, when we're talking about inflation and making your money work for you guys, you have the ability to work with partners who are going to save you those fees. And again, that's just something of economics 101 of don't let your dollar not work for you. You don't work for your dollar, let that dollar work for you. So that's an example. Again, this is high level. How you're paying suppliers, I think, is the biggest thing. What we encounter with our customers on a day-to-day basis. People are looking at different capabilities, right? Of not just paying in China, they're talking about paying their suppliers and looking at India, for example, or Mexico. A lot of people want to have that backup plan of they don't want to wait for their goods to just sit in a warehouse. Debtor days are growing longer than ever. 90 days we're talking about for an invoice to be received by our customers before they, obviously we're working with ping pong, and then paying that out. It's 90 days. And once, depending on your terms for each brand, that's 90 days where it's technically, if you get an invoice for $100,000, that's money not on your books, but it
should be visual, it should be really simple, and it needs to be measurable and time bound. So, SMART goals is something that obviously is aligned with this. And that really translates into that increased accountability and the commitment towards everyone driving in the same direction. So just to take a step back, or to reiterate here, so the parent wig is really simply defined. And I'm going to show you probably not the best example, but the one that I could find online that wasn't our wig internally that might have gone over people's head. But the wildly important goal of the wig is where you as a business, or you as a small team, or wherever you're at, you as an individual, you define where you want to be. So an example might be that we have one SKU live, and by the end of 2021, we'd like to bring 5 products to market and create a brand with 90% satisfaction in our, of 4.7 stars. That would be a really strong parent wig, because every single thing would then need to drive toward that, and how you build each of your lead measures. So you'll build 3 lead measures that will be the inputs. So let's take that example of bringing brands together. So, a lead measure would be the creation of 1 product a quarter, or one and a bit products a quarter, in order to make sure that that is actually delivered and it's at a quality that we expect and it's gone through the rounds. That should be lead measure 2 and 3, but effectively the 2 other lead measures will be aligned with what drives that parent wig, right? We're looking at the inputs. We're looking at things like product research. We're looking at anything that is going to help us make sure that we hit that parent wig. And so once we get to that stage, I'm going to show you this terrible example that I pulled from the internet. So a group here, or a parent wig, is an example of it, is piloting a group of students who will create a basic e-portfolio, so a home, about, a blog, content page with a success rate of 90% by the end of the first term. So just to break that down, you have very tangible, measurable aspects. So we'll pilot the group. This is what they'll deliver, and we have to do it at a 90% success rate. It doesn't need to be this long-winded, over-complex thing that's actually contrary to the objective here. So in order to achieve that, you have here that all students will be enrolled in a portfolio orientation class in their first term. So if they're enrolled, then that means they can actually learn and understand and drive toward that parent wig and that objective as a business here. The next one is that students will be given an hour per week in class to work on e-portfolios. So when we talk about that, we're understanding that now we have a time-bound input where they're going to contribute, which will gear toward delivering that home, about, blog, and contact page. And then lastly, we have open workshops that will be available for one-on-one attention. So again, it's another support mechanism that really enables people to drive toward it. So once you get through and you build out those wigs, we use something very simply put like this. So we have our wig, our lead measures, and we will actually track. So is it on track? Is it delayed? Is it at risk? Where do we sit? Each individual contributor, what will they commit to this week? What are the roadblocks? These are the regular cadences and weekly conversations that we have with our team to make sure we can effectively deliver on what that goal is. And what we call bloopers and burgers is really like when people make mistakes, when people fail, you shouldn't be embarrassed. It's not about keeping it to yourself. It's really about promoting or wearing your failures like a badge of honor. You tried something, it didn't work, but that's okay, because ultimately we're all in it together and we're trying to achieve and drive toward the same goal. Guys, that's really it. That is what I would say wraps up my component here. I really wanted to take sort of a step back and give you guys some insights as to, looking at your Amazon store or e-commerce business as a business, and as you look to scale, what that effectively looks like.
Absolute gold, Yoni. I think that we could all use this in almost every area of our lives, not just our business. I think when it comes down to figuring out what your focus is, what your goal is, and then breaking that down into actionable steps and how do we get there. Absolute gold. I think we could chat on that for an hour. I know I just absolutely obsess about this kind of stuff in my own life. So I would love to introduce, actually, I'm going to pass it to Liz. We got giveaways first before our next panelist. Liz,
Okay.
take it away.
first of all, I know that we're running short on time. Andrew's gonna introduce Anna Rose next, and then we're gonna hear from Mina. I'm putting the link to Menti in the chat right now with no Mimecast crap on it whatsoever. If you are in this session and you are not signed up to be on the wheel, do it right now. And in the meantime, I'm going to tease out some of the prizes that we're giving away. Yardline's giving away a 20-minute session with the seller success team. Frank is giving away a video, you guys. Gatita, $1,000 in reimbursement. So Gatita finds the money that Amazon owes you for the first 1,000 of that. You just get it for free. Why not do that? AZ Seller Kit, the amazing tool that Jason and Lenny put together, $1,000 in subscription fees. Amazon Experts, a free storefront. Frank's free video is a $2,500 value. Amazon Experts is the free storefront is a $2,000 value. I don't think you can do much better than that in terms of a holiday giveaway. So if you're not signed up, sign up. Okay, now it's too late. Wheelmaster, let's put up the wheel and let's give away 2 prizes right now. Then we'll have Anna. Then we'll give away a prize. Then we'll have Mina. All right, spin the wheel. And we're giving away Yardline's 20-minute session in preparation of Anna's presentation. Patrick Remen, you are a winner. So we will make sure that Anna Rose has Patrick's email address so that she can send him the information for that. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Andrew to announce Anna.
Hi, Anna. We've been waiting to meet. Honestly, I've seen you around in the industry as far as Yardline, and just have yet to connect with you guys. So I'm super excited to hear what you have to offer today. But Anna Rose, coming from Yardline, topic is the top 5 analysis every entrepreneur should be doing in the new year. I think it's a super relevant time to be reflective, to be planning for the next year, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're an Amazon seller, whatever the case might be. What are those things you would like to share with the group today?
Yeah, so I can go ahead and start sharing those. So thank you for the awesome intro, and everyone's presentations so far have been super helpful. So I'm really excited to kind of walk away with all of this information. But today, as Andrew said, we're going to be covering the top actions that entrepreneurs should take to scale their businesses. For people who joined late, I'll just give a little rundown really quickly. So yeah, I work for Yardline. I'm a seller success manager at Yardline, and Yardline provides capital to e-commerce entrepreneurs completely unrestricted. So you can really use it any way that you see fit, but a lot of our clients are using it for inventory, advertising, things like that. But in addition to the capital, our clients are also put in touch with our seller success team. Everyone on our team are experienced sellers themselves, and we really work with our clients post-funding to help continue to grow their sales and help them figure out how to really get the highest ROI possible on their capital and just grow their business in general. So that is what we gave away, is just a little free session of mastermind of sorts. So I'm really excited to work with the winner on that. But yeah, just jumping right into it. So of the things that are really important to do in the new year, I'm going to overview them through 5 critical analyses. And so these are the analyses that we're doing with our clients and our own businesses. But essentially, when you're looking at how to scale your business and doing business planning in the new year, you really want to look at the business holistically. And that includes looking at all of these parts of your business. So inventory, staffing, advertising, expansion, and these are all things that will tie into these analyses here. So the first analysis is unit economics. So for those of you who aren't familiar, unit economics is just looking at your profitability and margin of an individual SKU or ASIN or product. And this is important because in my experience, most businesses are really looking at their top line P&L. But when you really get into the granular details, that's where there's a lot of opportunity that can present itself. And getting to know your business more on the granular level can uncover those
very important. As the conversion rate changes, we realize how like the relationship between traffic and conversion
that's helping you get to those results. We have some people jumping in the chat talking about just how amazing this is, and I think that it's super important to think of that long game. Again, be patient around PPC. It's something that you have to be very, 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 very patient.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned the delay. And this is one thing that I also always notice is week on week, sometimes I'll see I went from, let's say, $500 in spend to $2,000 in spend, but the sales don't catch up. And then a week later, I noticed that the sales did catch up. So increase in profits. And so it was a result of cutting down the spend, because the week before, so the backstory, and this is why I love to have this, the backstory is a week before we launched a bunch of campaigns. So the spend here went up, and we still hadn't had like a good grip on which were the good keywords or not. So we then optimized and cut out all the stuff that doesn't work and doubled down on the stuff that did work. Sales went up, but also at the same time, conversion rate had gone up that week. And so we were able to get more profits and identify what caused the more profits. So this is kind of